Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here with Premier Kathleen Wynne and with Minister Peter Milchin this morning to announce this important new investment in affordable housing in the City of Toronto. And may I say that, and I've said this before, the last time we were together, I think I've been with Minister Milchin about 3 or 4 times in the last 2 months, making announcements that do move us forward in the City of Toronto on affordable housing. And I think the fact that he has been appointed as Minister was a very important decision that the Premier made that helps us to address what is a very significant problem confronting a lot of people in our city and has been for some time. As the city continues to grow, it is a high priority for me as the mayor to make sure that people of all ages and income levels can continue to call Toronto home. I think there's a misunderstanding that often exists about the difference between the different kinds of housing. Social housing provided for some of our neediest people, affordable housing for working people who we need to work and to live and who want to live and probably should live in the city because they often don't have the means to commute, and then other kinds of housing. But we need, the bottom line is we need all of those different kinds of housing in order for the city to remain affordable, for it to remain safe and accessible for people of all backgrounds. And we need young people and new Canadians and all Canadians who choose to make Toronto their home to feel that they can build their lives and careers here and have proper housing. And so it becomes our responsibility to residents as a matter of a moral imperative, but it is also an important part of our competitive advantage here in Toronto and in Ontario to be able to attract the best and the brightest and keep them here and attract investment and jobs. For the first time this year, the city has achieved its own target that it set many years ago of 1,000 affordable rental units being approved this year. This was a target the city itself set and then failed to meet for a number of consecutive years. And in fact, we have already exceeded that goal for the present year by more than 200 affordable rental approvals. And we know that even achieving this goal is not enough. And that's why these announcements of the one we're making today about Thistletown and the other ones that I made with the minister are so important to making sure that pipeline remains filled going forward so that we can exceed these targets every single year. I'm proud, though, of the accomplishment we've made to finally begin to meet our own targets and to commit, as I've done, to making sure we meet or exceed those targets going forward. And so having the Thistletown site made available in the northwest part of the city will create an exciting new mixed-income community for Toronto and in a part of the city that is not in the downtown area. It's in the northwest part of the city where we know the need is great, and up to 35% of that community is going to be affordable housing, either affordable ownership or affordable rental housing. And I think what it shows once again is the importance of cooperation and working together. How we need to work with other governments, and I believe they need to work with us in order to get things done for the people that we collectively represent. And as I noted, this is the third piece of surplus land, and these are important, strategically important pieces of land in important locations that the province has recently made available for the development of affordable housing in Toronto, following the announcement that came in September that the province would move to do something the city had been asking for some time. And I think that this is something that, together with Anna Bailau, I have been advocating for some time, and I would point out that that advocacy has been directed as well at the Government of Canada, and they have indicated that they're looking through the inventory of land they have, and I hope soon we will see them step forward as well in partnership with the City of Toronto to make some of their land available so that together we can make more affordable housing available for people who want to live in this part of the world. This is another demonstration of what governments can achieve when they work together. The history of affordable housing in Ontario is a history of collaboration between the different levels of government. And we know, as the Premier said, that there is no magic solution, and there also is no way that the housing situation is going to resolve itself. It is going to take us all together, working together, to take real action, and all levels of government to be involved in this. And we need the private sector to get involved too, as they are and as they will be, to make sure that these sites are developed in such a way that people of all backgrounds can take advantage of that. And I will just tell you that I remain committed to working.
On another subject, it looks like this is peace in our time, that you're not wearing short pants. is all's well that ends well? I mean, there was an impasse between the two governments.
You know, this week alone, I've seen the Premier, I think, 3 times outside of this meeting already, and each of those times we've taken a brief moment to talk about something that is of mutual interest to us. Our personal relationship was never in question. I had to stand up for Toronto on some things where I felt that the government of Ontario, and sometimes even the government of Canada as well, were not doing what was necessary to take account of the special circumstances of this city. But I can tell you that the movement that we've seen, for example, now in housing, and I think you should go back, and I say this respectfully, and catalog what has been done in the last couple of months. Substantial injection of money announced by myself and Mr. Milchin into Toronto community housing to help us retrofit those buildings. 3 very substantial pieces of surplus land put up, including the one today. They're going to allow for hundreds, in fact, hundreds and hundreds of affordable housing units. And this is going to be of benefit to the people of the City of Toronto, people who are struggling to find affordable housing, people who are in need of the support of all of their governments to make sure they have a life that is fair and that gives them an opportunity. And so, in all relationships, sometimes you take a little break, and it was just like a summer. It's like a summer. It's just like a summer break, and now we're back here in the fall, and we're doing things together, and we're doing things for the benefit of the people we both serve, and the same with the Government of Canada. We're working together, and I would just highlight that because that is something that is really important for the Mayor of Toronto. Has to be in a situation where he or she can work with the other governments. It's crucial. I mean, we can't get things done on our own and with property taxes alone and even just the other levers that go with creating housing and so on. And I'm delighted that I'm able to work with Premier Wynne and with Minister Peter Milchin to move this forward on the housing front today and on other fronts going forward. And we'll continue to do that. But I'll also continue to stand up for Toronto when necessary. It's my job.